Good morning. Ooh, that mic really works. Okay. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Nancy Tam Davis, and I will be your liturgist today. Well, there's a word. I want to welcome you to United Church of University Place, and that you are joining us for our worship service today. A couple of announcements. The most important one, after service, follow people downstairs, and there's a potluck. That means food, and coffee and tea and whatnot, and desserts. So that's happening downstairs. Crafty Tuesday, happening in the Orchard Room, which is down the hall. Choir practice happens in the sanctuary on Thursdays at 7 p.m. And next Sunday is the blessing of the animals. How many of you have pets at home? Yeah, this is where we bring our pets to church, and they are blessed. I won't be because my dog is afraid of cars, but I'll take the blessing home to him. Peace and Justice meeting, December 19th, after service, yoga class is being taught on Monday afternoons here in the youth wing, and Instagram. We are on Instagram. So all of that information is in your bulletin, and there are conference news, community news, regional partner news on the back side of that page, so that keeps you up to date. So, welcome announcements, centering music, Friend of a Wounded Heart. And Jeff, would you like to play that for us?
I am doing the mission moment today, which in addition to what you see in your bulletin, Today, the United Church of Christ is having a special environmental awareness called Sunday, and communities across the country are joining this grassroots movement for climate change. There are postcards in the back, and an 11-year-old named Natalie entered the art contest for this and won. There's a video of several different artists that submitted work, and they were all amazing. But this was the artwork chosen, and the idea is that on the back you write to your local elected officials and ask them to please support clean energy in the 2026 fiscal year. And so the cards can be found in the back of the sanctuary, and there's a basket back there, there's pens back there, there's addresses back there if you want to mail them yourself. And in the e-newsletter, there's also links to actually just electronically message the elected officials in our area, because we need to save this earth. So there's that. And on that note, because I'm an advocate for Nigotsan, Mother Earth, I would like to do a land acknowledgement today. We gratefully and respectfully acknowledge that we meet on the traditional homelands of the Puyallup tribe and the Coast Salish people. These First Nations people have lived on this land since time immemorial and are still here today. They live, work, raise their children, take care of their community, practice their traditional ways, and speak the Tshutseed language, just as their ancestors did. We acknowledge and humbly honor the pain and hardship they endured after foreign contact, and pray for complete healing from trauma, and pray for wholeness among them. May we do our part to help that healing. We recognize that this land acknowledgement is one small step toward true allyship, and we commit to uplift the voices, experiences, and histories of the Indigenous people of this land and beyond, not only in word, but also in action and advocacy. And if you would like ideas of how to do that, please let me know. I have many.
tenderly. We are called.
would you join me in the call to worship? And you'll find it printed in your bulletin. I read the plain text and you read the bold text, and you can read it boldly. Come, you who are weary and wounded, you who are radiant and rising. We come as we are, beloved and becoming. Come, you who have been told you're too much or not enough. We come with our stories, our scars, our strength. Come, you are sacred, you are seen, you are called.
We come to worship the one who made us in love and calls us to live in joy.
The scripture reading today, and I love it, Psalm 139, 13 to 14. That means it's short. You brought my inner parts into being. You wove me in my mother's womb. I will praise you, for you made me with fear and wonder. Marvelous are your works, and you know me completely. Now we will go back to singing. Live in Charity is the name of this one, and it's in the Faith We Sing, page 219. And it seems to work as well. And now we'll have some special music today. Become by Julia Flynn, covered by Aria. Our Aria.
Just for context, Julia Flynn is a trans artist, and this is her experience. Say it 100 times. If your words come true, then a part of me dies. I'd do it for you if my soul's on the line. I'd do it all again. So what do these words mean? The ones in the scriptures, they hurt me. The ones that say you desert me, say them 100 times. You burn down the shelter, protect me from rain. Would you still love me if I changed my name? You say you don't hate me, you just hate what I have become. To hell I've been exiled, we'll dance in the flames. Would you still love me if I took the blame? You say you don't hate me, you just hate what I have become. Chase the feeling, I met someone words were stars on the ceiling. Orion, Orion, lead me home. It took 89 seasons before I believed it, that my soul's not broken, it's just been mistreated. You gave me direction, gave me a reason to breathe. You burned down the shelter, protect me from rain. Would you still love me if I changed my name? You say you don't hate me, you just hate what I have become. To hell I've been exiled, we'll dance in the flames. Would you still love me if I took the blame? Yeah, you say you don't hate me, you just hate what I have become. Chase a feeling, I met someone that could heal me, and their words were stars on the ceiling. Orion, Orion, lead me home. Lead me home. Today we have amazing special guests. Who's my girl? Danny. And I would like to invite them up with me here now. We are doing a question and answer panel today. And these are my very amazing and special friends. And they are going to answer some of the questions that you sent in, that you were curious about, that hopefully they can help clarify some things, or bring to awareness maybe some things that you weren't aware of. And I'm delighted to have them here. And just so you know, a lot of them come from a religious trauma background. So for them to be here today is very brave. And so I hope that you'll make them feel very welcome.
Welcome. So I wanted to introduce them really quickly. You'll see that they have introductions in the bulletin, but I will introduce them as I know them because they're all my friends. So according to the bulletin, in the order of the bulletin, Mez. Mez's pronouns are they, them. Mez is my bestie, and I've known Mez for a couple of years. Mez is one of the first people that ever stood up for me in a really huge way, and I knew that that meant that they were a quality person. And we've done a lot of good work together, including work on inclusive youth in Gig Harbor, and I love them very much. We have Adrian. Adrian! I met Adrian at karaoke on Tuesday nights. And Adrian is so highly intelligent. Having a conversation with them is amazing. And as you can read in their bio, there's some amazing work going on, including the work being done at the First United Methodist Church with Shalom. Yeah. Who I think is going to be speaking here in a couple of weeks. And then we have Ezra. Ezra, what is up? Ezra's pronouns are they, them. Ezra is one of my siblings in indigeneity and in life, basically. Ezra is a lover of chickens and always has eggs to bring to people whenever they are out and about. Mark is from Gig Harbor, which is where I met him. And when I was starting Inclusive Youth in Gig Harbor, Mark was someone that I was able to like pick his brain and get some ideas, because Mark has done a lot of work with youth, especially in California. If you'll notice, he founded the Rainbow Youth Alliance of Southern California, which is now a big organization. And I don't think we were quite ready for the expansion of what Mark was suggesting, but it was very helpful to get his feedback. And actually, the first time we had an Inclusive Youth at the Gig Harbor Library, and he didn't even know, he came in and dropped $40 in my hands just to donate to the cause, which always like made me, actually I think I might have cried a little bit, but it was amazing because at that point in time I was paying for it all myself. Casey, don't hide, Casey. Casey's pronouns are they, them. I also met Casey at karaoke. Casey's like my little sibling, and I love them. Casey gave me this cool, amazing necklace this morning, which there's an amazing story, which I won't go into, but also cool. And just amazing, just amazing. And Kirsten. Hello, Kirsten. Kirsten and I have a fun history together being raised Mormon. And so we have a lot of fun Mormon jokes that we can share because it's a very unique religion and there's a lot of things that are like specific to Mormonism that are now funny. Also, Kirsten and I have an ongoing rapport about getting enough sleep at night. Don't we, Kirsten? Did you get your star last night for sleep? No. Kirsten has a sticker chart that I gave her 4 stars for sleeping. She did not get her star last night, so I hope she can focus. Just kidding. Sorry. Maybe that was inappropriate. That was very public. I apologize, Kirsten. Okay. On to questions. Okay. Also, what I forgot to say was, hi, Zoom people attending online, welcome. And everyone here, welcome. Okay, so questions. Here's the first one, and Adrian, I'm going to pass the mic to you.
I'll turn it on.
It's on. Okay. And the question is, what is the difference between being pan and being bi?
Yeah, I think that's a really great question, and I, it's a bit of a fun little exercise in semantics, right? I've explored both labels. And settled on bisexual, kind of because I like the flag more personally. But both of these labels are extremely valid, and there are some misconceptions about these labels that I think are really important to kind of cover. One of those is that bisexuality is like too rigid and like reinforces the gender binary. I would disagree. To me, bisexuality means like the attraction to one or more. More than one is what I mean. Whereas pansexuality represents that like all across the spectrum, regardless of gender. To me, I am married to a trans man, and my bisexuality is kind of approaching this realm of, more than one. I'm just kind of transcending, just a supposed opposite gender. But with an emphasis on I have appreciation for the gender which I am married to. I have attraction to the gender that I am married to. However, pansexuality, and do correct me if I'm wrong, kind of encompasses that, but without an emphasis of gender, without it necessarily mattering in any way, shape, or form. Not disregarding it completely, but it not playing as much of a role or a factor at all.
I would agree with that. When I first came out, I came out as bi. And one thing I think is interesting to note is that I was married to a man, and there is a lot of bi erasure for people who come out as bi but are married to a heteronormative person, and how bisexual people feel very erased in that way because they are attracted to both. But I did eventually I went with pansexual because I am attracted to all, specifically trans masc people. I'm attracted to people that have a very good balance of both masculine and feminine. And so that's kind of where I landed on pan, because it is kind of non-definable as far as gender, like there's people that don't have gender. So it's like, yeah. Does that feel answered? Okay, great.
I really appreciate our kind of like sibling sexualities, like it's kind of like we're connected in that really interesting way where both of our identities kind of like we share a little bit.
Yeah.
We're
Okay, so the next question was, why choose the word queer as a describing word that sort of umbrellas the community of LGBTQIA plus, 2S, which is two-spirit. There, some people call it the rainbow alphabet because there's a lot of letters, because there's a lot of different identifications. So, did you send a video once about the word queer in a group?
I, in a general answer to your question, I think you kind of almost supported it there. That's a lot of alphabet, isn't it? So I think one of the wonderful things about the word queer is when I was a kid, that's what they called me if they didn't like something I was doing or who I was or my mannerisms. So we came back and took it back. For myself, I can only speak for myself here, but for me, it's a very inclusive word. And it does make people uncomfortable, and I kind of like that too. The idea that I'm queer and people with non-conforming sexual identities are called queer too, and it's just one big family in alliance. So that's why I like that word. Now, I have gay friends that are very uncomfortable with the word, and these are mostly gay men because they grew up with that name calling, and they see it as being very uncomfortable to hear it. Most of them are of my age, older men, but many have gotten it and are more comfortable with it now.
Yeah, that's very good. Yeah. Kirsten, yeah.
I'm going to pop in here and say something too. Just to add on to that, certainly there's queer is also like a political statement, right? Like Bell Hooks was asked what her sexuality was, and said, "I'm not queer as in attracted to my own gender, but I am queer in terms of like fight the system," for lack of more church appropriate words, right? And I feel like calling the community queer is almost a call to us to remember that we aren't supposed to just like blend in, right? Like if you're gay and okay with the system, then like something's not right, and there's a need for queerness and a need for not acquiescing to what's going on in society.
Yeah, that's so good. What was that, Ezra? The punk of gays. I like it. Casey?
And I just wanted to add, to what Mark said. I feel like it is used against queer people a lot, and it's like, I like it because it's kind of like, yeah, like, what are you going to say now? Like, I am queer. What about it? I'm not offended. I like other words besides queer, too, but I won't use those here.
Yeah.
Just to piggyback off what you were saying related to fighting the system or not going along with the system, queering the system, that focus is meant for liberation. Like, the point is for freedom. Queering the system isn't like to be a radical in a way that's against people. It's for people. It's so that we have more freedom and access to our true selves.
Yeah, that's good. Mez, hold on to the microphone, because the next question is from someone that said, it's foreign to me to use they, them. I'm trying to understand it and get it right. Can you explain the use of those pronouns? And I think between you and Ezra, who I overheard having a really interesting conversation about this, maybe you can feel this.
So yeah, I'll start.
Put that microphone right up to your face.
Hello. Good? Okay, Danny says good. All right, so something that helps me in general, first of all, just you meet a lot of people in community everywhere you go. And I like to lean into not knowing. That's the way I sort of approach it, is that, so I think about it in a way where it's like, what if I found something that was left behind? So like an umbrella. Somebody left an umbrella behind, and I'm trying to find who the umbrella belongs to. So I might ask, does anyone know who might have put that there? I want to get it back to them. Because the umbrella isn't giving me any information as to the gender of the person. So I'm going to lean into not knowing. Oh, do you know what they look like? Did anyone see who was holding the umbrella? So that's kind of how I do it. So instead of being uncomfortable with not knowing, I just think of it as being the same situation in a much less intense environment, because that allows me to release. I think that there is an idea that a lot of people in my generation and generations above me, and my parents and my grandparents' generation, there was a punitive nature to being wrong. And then that inherently comes with a discomfort, whether you are mentally acknowledging it, it's in your body for the most part. So when you are in a situation and the stakes feel so high, I have found it to be comforting to remember that it's okay to be wrong. And if I am starting to feel that, I'd rather just lean into, that's right, I don't know. So how would I naturally express, not to say that people are umbrellas, but again, I want to find them so that I can get them back their umbrella, right? And I don't know who they are. So can someone help me find them?
They and them is used the whole time addressing this umbrella, which is not abnormal.
No.
Translate to...
I don't know.
An individual.
I don't know whose umbrella this is. So yeah, that's for me. It's just that, like, and and if you do mess up, if I'm like, then it's, again, there's no punitive action that's going to come from that. It's, oh, my bad. She. Is it her umbrella?
Yeah.
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 Anyway.
I like to, for folks who get a little bit confused, it might help to put yourself in the shoes of someone who might be uncomfortable by you using their incorrect pronouns. So if you imagine someone consistently using your opposite pronouns, if you're a man, how would you feel if you walked the world and people constantly referred to you as she and her? It would probably feel a way, especially if it was other men, right? So like feel that for a second and then remember, okay, singular they is not all that new. We've been talking about it since the pandemic, right? Like it's been a lot more culturally normalized. And so we know that singular they is actually grammatically correct. People use singular they constantly, actually, or all the time, not constantly, but now constantly in our community, constantly. People are using singular they often. And so it's a matter of practice and practicing. Find a friend or make a connection with a person. I don't know if they'll be your friend. That would take some time, potentially. But connect with a person who's non-binary and practice using their pronouns, or call people you don't know by they pronouns, just to practice it and get used to it and continuing to say it. And that might help you make the shift. And that way, also, people who are non-binary use they, them pronouns, gender nonconforming, will recognize like there's more people trying. I hear it. My parents are boomers, and oh my God, my parents are amazing. They're multiple humans in our family who use they, them pronouns. And it took them a minute to get used to it. And there was the same kind of comments made that I hear often, and I think they're in good faith. I am too old to learn this. This is too hard for me. I've only ever known this. But once there was enough of us in the family being like, okay, we actually think you can learn new things. We think it's not an old dog can't learn new tricks. Like, we believe in old dogs, okay? We believe in you. And they were like, okay, we believe in ourselves. And so they've tried, and they've made a lot of mistakes, but what they do is they catch themselves and they're like, oh, they. Simple fix. And it always lands so warmly to me, to my other family members. It means a lot. So that might be helpful too.
Yeah, that's really good.
I just want to add, as an old dog myself, I just want to remind everybody that if Shakespeare could do it, which he did, the oldest of dogs, then we all ought to be able to adapt a little bit if we're culturally uncomfortable with it. I find myself, as an old dog, making mistakes all the time with people that I love and admire. And so I just correct myself as quickly as I can, let it go, they let it go, and we move on. That's my approach to that adjustment.
That's really good. Yeah, Ezra was saying something last night about how, like, if you spill something, you're like, oh, I'm so sorry, fix, okay, move on. Same idea with incorrect use of pronouns, like, oh, I'm so sorry, they.
I also want to just add quickly that as far as like real steps that you can make to have people of all genders and identities feel comfortable in being with you, around you, it is, I remember when I first changed my pronouns, it's a noticeable difference in the lightness and joy that I felt being in spaces where people were either actively trying or were getting my pronouns correct. It's like that one switch does so much for the comfort of an individual. It I don't know, to a lot of us it feels small. Like, we understand that it can be difficult, but that's why even in the, oh, I'm so sorry, and then you correct it in the moment. Or even there's been times when I've misgendered friends and I don't realize it and everything kind of continues, and then you go back and say, hey, I think earlier I misgendered you and I apologize. Like, that one act of like being either proactive or, stepping in when you do make that mistake, it's mind-blowing the joy that it brings to a queer person. Just as like a heads up. It's amazing. It feels so good.
Really good.
Yes, I also want to remind folks that it's life-saving. Like, to be proactively using proper pronouns and someone's correct name can make the difference in their mental health, in how safe they feel in the world. Like, these are very tiny acts that can literally save someone's life. So a small thing, but big impact. One last comparison, though it's not related to pronouns specifically, but when people change their name, when a queer person changes their name, the reminder that if you went to a wedding and someone changed their last name, there's huge celebration, right? We love we love a wedding, we love a union. Oh my God, there's so many TV shows about it and so much focus on it. It's historical, it's memorable, all these things. So that level of importance is still, we don't celebrate people's name changes like that, but the impact is the same. You wouldn't go around and use someone's maiden name or previous name. You would honor them. You would recognize, like, they just made this huge change and I want to make sure they feel validated and they see that I care about them. So that's the same kind of impact. When someone chooses to change their name, it's a big deal. And you know, even if it's a kid and they're kind of playing and trying it on, still a big deal. It could really mean the world for you just to respect them. And that's really what it boils down to is like, do I respect someone's creativity? Do I respect someone's identity as they define themselves? Let me show that to them as I want them to show to me, as I want them to show me using my correct name, my correct pronouns. So where there's reciprocity there.
That's good. Awesome.
I just like to add that is this
Put
just
it
really
right up
quiet?
to your face like it's an ice cream cone.
So my name is Casey, and it wasn't Casey very long ago. I changed it this year. I had a big year of transformation and change, and I had the name Casey picked out like 5 years ago. I always knew that I loved that name. I always knew that I absolutely hated my birth name. It never felt like me. It was way too feminine. It didn't fit me, but that was my name. So I just, that was my name. And then this year, a lot of stuff happened, and I was like, you know what? Like, I'm 34. Why am I living with a name that I hate? I hate being called my name. It's my name. So I changed it, and I love my name now. And I can't even tell you. I can't even tell you how big of a deal it was. I started a new job like right after that, and the HR person asked me at training if I wanted to use my new name. And I did, and that's all those people at work have ever known me as, and it is awesome. It's so good. It feels so good. So yeah, what Mez said, it's so true, the importance of respecting somebody's name, not just their pronouns. And people have a hard time with it sometimes. My dad is trying, and he's actually been doing pretty good, which is amazing. And then I had a couple friends that I've known for like 15 years who thought it was weird, and now we're not really talking. So that really hurt me. And I know it can be a hard adjustment. So if someone in your life comes to you and says, hey, I want to change my name, it's going to be weird for a while for you, and it's going to feel foreign, but do it for them because it will mean the world to them.
Yep. That's brilliant. Thank you. We pass the mic over to Kirsten because Kirsten, I have questions that you said you wanted to field. How do you know when you feel safe, affirmed, and included? What kind of things are present for you to know and feel that? And is there something that people could say that would let you know that they are safe?
Perfect. So this is a great segue from what we were just saying, right? So it's going to vary from person to person, right? So I'm not going to speak for some kind of monolithic community here or anything, but for my experiences.
Put your mic right up to your face.
But I hear it echoing. Okay. She says I'm good. I'm just going to stick it on my chin. Does this work? Okay. Yeah, so not a monolithic community, and I am not speaking for everybody, but some things that can be common, right? So like an umbrella term would be like an inclusive language in the sense of like, don't assume anybody's gender, right? If I don't know you, historically you'd be like, oh, this person looks like they're more of a she and that one more of a he, but that doesn't leave room for anything else. So if I hear someone like not gendering people that they don't know, that's like, oh, this person's aware. If I hear people referring to their partner as a partner rather than like a husband-wife sort of thing, it's like, oh, this person's aware that there can be things other than that, right? So using like that inclusive language that leaves room for something else, right? There isn't like a magic passphrase like, hey, I'm a friend of Dorothy, right? Like,
That's a good one, though.
Yeah, I mean, like, those used to be like in community sort of like stuff. Like, are you part of the family, right? But there are ways that like historically there have been little like catchphrases for queer people to identify each other, but there's not some magic way to come up and be like, hey, I'm an ally, and have it like automatically be safe. It's more the actions you're doing and consistent efforts. You can be, hey, I'm an ally, but also recognize that for many queer people, as well as like whether that's gender nonconforming or trans people or people of just different sexualities, the more big of a deal you make out of it sometimes, the less safe and inclusive it becomes, right? So like if you clock someone, no you didn't, right? Like, and if you see someone out there and you want to be like really excited about them, like be excited about them, say like, hey, I love your outfit, or like you're looking really good, you're rocking those shoes, but don't be like, yeah, you're passing, right? Or you like, yeah, don't. The more big of a deal you make about how you are trying to be inclusive, then it's all about you, almost at their expense. The places I feel most safe, people treat me like a human and not like a queer human, right? Like queer is an identity, trans is an identity, but it's not like, when I think about myself, it's not what comes first to mind for me. And so if it's what's first to mind for you, then that's pointing out to me that like, okay, so I'm a trans, I'm a queer, and then I'm a human. Like just human me. Just treat me like you do your rest of your friends.
That's really good.
Yeah, I want to say say something on that. In line with that too, it's not, just to remember, it's not safe for all of us to be out, and that could be in any given situation. So we have to, especially now, especially where this country is going, with the rhetoric that is now nationwide about our community, that is terrifying. So for us to be out is a privilege for us, and not all of us can take that privilege. So yeah, I really agree with that. Just like respecting us as people. Like if you see somebody who you are like, oh, that might be a queer person, you don't know that. And it doesn't matter. So we just treat people as, you know, people and get to know them. And then if you are dedicated to allyship, focusing less on individual allyship and focusing more on community allyship, and like how you're showing up for the community, how you're empowering the community through resources. You know, it sounds like Aria has lots of ways to get plugged in to do that kind of work. So yeah, that would be.
That's really good. I think one of the other things that was said was if you introduce yourself and say, hey, I'm Aria, my pronouns are she, they, you're automatically showing somebody else that they are safe to also share their pronouns. So it's just a really subtle way to be like, you know, and a lot of people I've heard say, why do I need to put my pronouns on the end of my emails? And it's because it's not about you. It's about everyone you're emailing and how they may feel safe if they see that you're identifying that they can also then identify. So I think the whole, it's not about you, it's about helping other people feel safe. If you want to be an ally, that's one of the ways you can do that. And so that's another thing. We are almost out of time. So
Can I say one more thing?
Yeah,
on that?
last comments from the panel.
I think would be one of the most brave things that men in particular could do would be to say to other men, hey, my name's this, my pronouns are he, him. Even if you know he's a man or you have a feeling or you're in a man's space, if you want to be a big ally, that would be one of the most brave things you could do.
Go ahead. Everyone gets your last thoughts. Go. Do you have last thoughts?
The biggest thing, pronouns and inclusive language. Practice with your friends.
I didn't hear any of that.
The safety issue, how you feel safe. I remember when I first started spending time with my boyfriend, who became my husband. I prefer husband because we tend to celebrate our masculinity. We would go down the freeway holding hands in the car, but when we passed a truck, we would pull our hands away from each other just in case that truck driver might see us down looking, see that. There was fear, genuine fear, and it was justifiable. He was an Air Force Academy cadet when we were dating. And he left the Air Force because of what was supposed to be a positive adjustment, don't ask, don't tell, turned out to be a horrifying experience for him in the Air Force. So I can just say that we've come a long way, but we're going back now. Yeah. And just us being here on this stage, we're going to be on YouTube. We are putting ourselves out there, and maybe not next month, maybe not next year, but I think we're in a period now where the next 90 days are going to say a lot about the political climate and how safe we all are going to be, and honestly, how safe all of us are going to be. So I just had to get that in.
Yeah, that's really good. Thank you.
Know that people in our community, I mean, right now, over the last couple of years, and it's becoming more and more frequent, we are every day having conversations with one another, talking about what documentation we can get now, what documentation, if we haven't gotten it, we need to stop on, what medical procedures that we were in the works of getting, we need to hold off on, ways that we can erase ourselves from the paper trail that is social media and things like that. Like, we are really, there is a real, like, intense amount of fear right now about how much we can currently share of ourselves, and we're now backtracking to look for, again, like a paper trail, whether that's medical or governmental with like name changes and gender changes that have happened already that you can't go back now. And so I have friends where we're rating essentially our the danger level.
The risk level.
But yeah.
Let me add to that.
Okay.
We also have a big choice. Do we try to erase that and go back into the woodwork, or do we exist openly on Facebook and on media and confront this? And that is a brave choice, and it's not. It's a choice each one of us has to make.
Yeah.
As our allies have to make it, we have to make it. I don't know that there's a right or a wrong answer. It's a very personal choice.
So that's sort of what I'm saying is that in groups of friends, we are ranking like, okay, well, my information is already out there in this way, so I can't backtrack that. So, I'm going to look at where I do have privileges as a primarily femme presenting, white passing individual. If that information for me is already out there, there's no taking it back. I would be able to protect a person in my internal circle in this way. Like I would need to step up in this place. Whereas there might be other ways. I have medical documentation of transgender affirming care, both medically and again, like legal documentation of changes made. So in those ways, I might need to step back if, there's we're monitoring laws and changes and rhetoric so closely and having to pivot as a team, as a collective team. We all go, okay, this is what's happening today. So we need to focus on protecting this person in this way. And because you don't have that, you're going to step up over here and we're going to, like, it's bonk.
Yeah. We're playing chess.
Just so you understand.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have...
Yeah, we're navigating survival right now as a community. And so, if you want to help to, like, again, just providing whatever resources you have as in allyship. And also, yes, being mindful to be aware of protecting yourselves too, as allies.
Thank you. I really want to be mindful of time.
Yeah.
But something I do want to say, and at the risk of getting too political, but this is a very political conversation. When I heard, Donald Trump say, like, we're coming for the homegrowns next, when he was talking about, putting people like me, I'm a Mexican American, and, weird detention centers in El Salvador. I took that as like, we're going to start targeting people who are different, and I think it's time to start getting like pretty loud about that, like, and starting to freak out. We can get really comfortable, but at the same time, it's looking pretty dire.
Yeah.
Things do not look good, and I don't like sugarcoating things. It's like, oh, they're saying some like really horrible stuff, and they are targeting queer and trans people specifically in an insane way, in ways that they've like never gone after before. It's really bizarre and scary right now. So I just would really like to see people like step up, like really get loud about your allyship, continue uplifting queer affirming spaces like this. And like, I hate to like throw money into this, but it's like, put your money where your mouth is, right? If you have the funds available, I absolutely urge you to uplift your local queer communities, like uplift different organizations where you are, and really make sure that those spaces are able to preserve themselves, because they just lost a bunch of federal funding.
Yeah. Yep.
And they are on lists, and they're watching us.
Oh my God.
Because you talked about getting really loud, and earlier we talked about, when you are showing your allyship and trying to nurture and a safe space for the queer people in your life. When you talk about getting loud, you should be loud in straight spaces, in cisgender spaces, right? Because we talked about, like the less of a deal that you make of it, as far as like, oh, hey, I'm like cool with trans people. Like we don't have, in those spaces, be quiet and supportive in small ways. But the loudness needs to happen in spaces of straight people who are not used to getting checked. And you are uniquely qualified to do that because it sounds like you are all on a learning journey. And the fact that you even are here and asking these inquisitive, respectful questions of us and allowing us to take up space on your Sunday is incredible. So you are the ones to go out there and in your friend groups, at your lunches, and when you're hanging out, like Mez mentioned, for, a man at the gym with his male friends dropping he, him when they meet someone new, like that, it's a huge deal. And those are the times to be outspoken about it. So I didn't want there to be confusion about, do I lay low or do I get loud? It's just in different, when is the important part with the company that you are with.
I just wanted to add, in case anyone is confused or unclear about what we're talking about earlier, the FBI announced that they will be classifying transgender people as terrorists, which I can't believe that. Yes, I can't believe that's a real thing that I'm saying, but it is. So people are scared. So yeah, believe us when we say we need you. We need people, especially straight people, to care because there's a lot less of us. And it's scary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
That was pretty much
Thank you, Casey. Any other final thoughts before we got to wrap? We got to wrap. Okay, well, actually, this is what I'm going to end on. The good people of UCUP had some things that they wanted you to know. They said, I hope you know that I am one of you and have been since birth, and all of us are beloved, and I hope you will always feel welcome at our church. Someone else said, thank you for showing up each day and being yourself. You are teachers. You have so much courage and inner truthfulness, and we need you. Someone else said, thank you for being brave and coming here to UCUP, which is our acronym for United Church and University Place, just so you know. Okay. We're watching the country implode, and we're so sorry that you are at risk. We may not understand and always do things right, but thank you for your patience with us and your help in educating us and how we can help support you best. And UCUP has a thank you that I will give to you before you leave, because we love you, we value you, we are grieving with you, and we stand with you in all the ways that we can, and we thank you for the awareness that you're helping us to better understand how we can help you and how we can be more aware and how we can show up for you in all spaces. And now we're super short on time, and I don't know how to navigate that because I am not the pastor. What if we just do the closing song and a blessing and ascending? Yeah? Is this a democracy? Closing song, Jeff? Let's get it. The people have spoken. Closing song.
a blessing and ascending. May we celebrate the rich diversity of creation, every beautiful body, every shade of skin, every expression of love. Remind us that we are all loved, fiercely and forever. And my favorite, an Apache blessing. May the sun bring you new energy by day. May the moon softly restore you by night. May the rain wash away your worries. May the breeze blow new strength into your being. May you walk gently through the world and know its beauty all the days of your life. This is good medicine. May it be so.